Joshua chapter 10, when God made the sun stand still and God threw boulders of heaven. Look at me for a second, leaders. It's because Joshua honored the words of a bad covenant. He made a bad contract. And what God says is this. God says this. He said, you honor what you promised. I'll make the sun stand still, and I'll throw boulders from heaven to make sure you win this battle. You kept your promise. You kept your promise, so I'm going to do something that is so extraordinary. I've talked with leaders, I've talked with people that are in midst from bankruptcy to divorce. And I've sat just around the corner here with somebody that was asking me the question. And I said this, I want you to hear this from Psalm 15. I said, Psalm 15 starts off with a question and ends with a promise. The question starts off with this in Psalm 15:1. Who shall ascend to the holy hill of the Lord? Who will stand in my presence and in my courts? And then it ends with this. Those that do these things, those that keep this word, those that does this, shall never be shaken. And right in the midst of it, I know the verse is on the screen, and I know I'm messing up the whole production thing because they don't know about shut up and get to the point. And so if you can find Psalm 15, here's the verse that I want you to say, I want you to get. One of those things that are part of you will never be shaken is this. He says this, and those that keep their promises even, that's it, put it up, you had it, don't be afraid, thank you. Those who keep their promises even when it hurts. Those that keep their promises even when it hurts. God said that you honored a covenant, Joshua. You honored a covenant. And folks, God just spoke to me and says, Tim, if you keep your word to these missionaries, if you keep the word to what you said, pay them. I'll take care of it. I'll throw boulders from heaven. I'll make the sun stand still. Folks, it's not a lot, but I've laid hands on people and I've watched people get healed. But I've watched myself keep promises, and I've watched just as many miracles from keeping promises, from honoring my word and saying, I made a promise, we're gonna do it, even if it hurts. Can I tell you what happened? We were paying some of those missionaries, those $20,000 back. Some of them were out of the ministry. They were working at Home Depot. And so I was looking for excuse, going, hey, God, they're not even in the ministry today. And then I felt condemned, going, well, it's because of you. And so I just kept going. And I just go, okay, pay them, take care of this. And so we were sending checks to people that were working in Home Depot that were out of the ministry. Some retired from the mission field in the middle of all this, and we still sent them checks. Because listen, when you're in the midst of Psalm 15:4, making a promise even when it hurts, you'll look for excuses. You'll look for excuses. I was thinking of the guy who made a promise that he was going to deal with his weight, and so the whole office was cheering because it was a glaring issue. I'm going to lose weight until like 3 weeks later he walked in with a box of jelly donuts, and they go, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" They said, "I've got to tell you the story." He said, "I was driving by work and I saw a bakery." And he said, and I just said, Lord help me, Lord help me. I said, but it said it was fresh. So what I did was, as I was there, I just said, Lord help me. And this is what he told him. I said, God, here's what I'm going to say. If there's a parking place in front of the bakery, then this is you wanting me to get off this diet and to have jelly donuts. And he said, you would never believe it. The 8th time around the block, there it was. Parking place was there. You could always find an excuse. You can always find an excuse. And I'm telling you, when you keep your promise and you keep your word, God says, I'll make the sun stand still.